So Pokemon Sword and Shield are just around the corner, and I figured I'd give my 2 cents about the games. I've been a fan of Pokemon ever since I started playing video games with Pokemon XD Gale Darkness on the GameCube. I've gone on to play at least one version of each mainline game, as well as many of the spin-offs. It's no longer my favorite game series out there, nor my favorite monster tamer, but I still have a soft spot for it. Yet these new games are starting to make me concerned. I'm not a complete negative Nancy though, and there are some aspects of the games I like. Certain new Pokemon like Scorbunny, Corviknight, and Cramorant all are really appealing to me. While I'm not a huge fan of Dynamax and Gigantamax, certain forms such as Corviknights are appealing to me still. I'm also not a huge stickler on the graphics. I think they look fine to me personally, and while I also think that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 3 houses look fine undocked, so you gotta take that as you will. The big problem here is the lack of a national dex. Unlike previous games, there's only going to be a regional dex, and if you try to transfer in an old Pokemon, it's not going to work if they're not in the regional dex. There's only 400 Pokemon in the regional dex, so out of the 890 total, we're getting a little bit under half. Furthermore, certain Pokemon end up just being stepping stones for other Pokemon. For example, you're not really going to be using Charmander or Charmeleon ever, you're going to be using Charizard. As some have pointed out, only about 50 of the 150 one original Pokemon made it in. This means that despite having all the HD models from Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, they still can include them all. Now I'm sure if they did include all 151 original Pokemon, I'd be here saying how complaining that they managed to find a spot for all 151, yet not for whatever one of my favorites got cut. But the point still stands that we're having a lot less options than we easily could have if these models are so hard to work with. And speaking of the models being hard to work with, I'm not sure if that's a good excuse in the first place. Game Freak is a bunch of game designers by choice. It's not like they're being forced to make these games. I worked at a bakery over the summer, and if I were to say this something's too hard for me, so I don't expect too much, I'd just get laughed out. I know that baking and designing a game are very different. I've tried designing a game, it's really hard, but still, you gotta do your best. You can't just give a half-baked product and expect it to sell well. Now, I've been doing some research across Pokemon communities online, such as VP, GameFAQs, and Reddit, and as the days grow ever closer to release, it seems like less and less people are willing to support these games. Now sure, you're still getting some people here and there that are defending the games, but a lot of times they seem misinformed on some aspects or they're just flat out trolling. Am I going to buy the games? I mean, I probably will end up buying them. I do want to I have a living dex that I'd like to keep up, and I still do like Pokemon. But in the end of the day, I'm not trying to say that you have to buy them or you should boycott them. You just gotta know before going in what you're getting into, and I'm not sure if these are the best games they could be.